Hey, welcome everybody. Thanks so much for tuning in. We are live, broadcasting live from the Royal Room, and I'm J.R. Rhodes, and I'm here with Jim Page. He's going to be starting off the night, and just to give you a sense of how things go tonight, Jim's going to open up tonight, and he's going to play a few songs for us, and then I'll come up and do a set with Hans Teuber, and then Jim will join us again, and we'll close out the night together. So, again, thanks so much for joining us. And yeah, Jim Page, our treasure.
In the morning when the dream dissolves and all that you recall is that it felt so real, if it was even a dream at all, and your lover and companion still asleep inside her own one, maybe the same one that you just woke up from, and are there any answers? Yes, there are answers, but when you find the answers, all the questions change. There are those who demand to know the answers to it all, like why they don't fly off the planet and why the sky doesn't fall. And they have the right to ask, of course, and someone will reply. For each and every answer, there's a question standing by, And are there any answers? Yes, there are answers. But when you find the answers, all the questions change. You may question my integrity and question my desire, like I question your intentions as you step into the fire. It's all open to investigation, nothing is secure. We may invest in our predictions, oh, but how can we be sure? How can we be sure? What your name was, and I asked you where you're from, and you asked me where I lived and was I with someone. And I asked if you like movies, would you like to see one now? And you said, why don't we go walking? We'll find a way somehow. And our walking went for miles, and the miles went on for days, through all the contradictions of a million different ways, until we reached our destination where the distance disappears, and we are still together after all these years, And are there any answers? Yes, there are answers, but when you find the answers, all the questions change. Are there any answers? Yes, there are answers. But when you find the answers, all the questions change. All the questions change. I have an audience here. You don't usually get audiences in live streams, at least not at my house. I'm very happy to be here. Been looking forward to this gig. Never know how many people are out there. Maybe there's 9. Maybe there's 9,000. Speaking of 8, there are only 8 days left before the big N3. And I don't know about anybody else, but I already voted. Yep, went right down there, dropped it in the slot. And that's right. you know? So vote. Vote like your life depends on it. We live in a town called Seattle, and Seattle is a mispronunciation of a person's name. But I'll call him Seattle because that's how I was raised to do, you know. And he was a Chief Seattle. And Chief Seattle had a daughter. Her name was Kiki Soul Blue. But they called her Angeline. In this beautiful country in which I'm living, there is a story that you'll find about a woman whose name is Kiki Soul Blue. And they called her Angeline, Kiki Soul Blue. She was the eldest daughter of Chief Seattle. She watched the world disappear. She said, you can build your town around me. I'm not going anywhere, Angeline, Kiki Soul Blue. And it was the fine and expensive wife of Doc Maynard who defined her into something to be owned when she said, you're much too beautiful for such an ugly name. From now on you will be known as Angeline, not Kiki Soul Blue. And they made her illegal, and all of her people and the children threw rocks behind her back. Well, but Kiki Soul Blue had some rocks of her own, yes she did. And she threw them back, Angeline, Kiki Soul Blue. Landlord, look over your shoulder. Careful who you're talking to. Maybe somebody you stole something from. Come to take it back from you, Angeline, Kiki Soul Blue. So many thieves, for all that they have taken, they leave us with a world full of holes. Oh, but we have rocks, we have heroes, and we will not do what we are told. Angeline, Kiki Soul Blue. Hans, are you out there? Here we go. I've been looking forward to this. Oh, did I speak too loud on the microphone? Sorry for you at home. Those of you sitting at home with earbuds, I may give you a little bit of a nudge from time to time, you know. This is a song that Hans and I have never actually played before. I don't think we've ever even met. We may have been in the same room, but I don't know about that.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Probably, yeah. Music is a small world. This is a song I wrote about a year ago, something like that. And it's about an actual event in New York City, seminal in my life. It's a turning point in my life. I wanted to change my life. To have something happen to me when I was a kid, right, teenager. So I hitchhiked across the country to New York City, and I wound up broke and destitute, which is exactly what I wanted to have happen, right? So there I was, getting all my dreams come true, and I wanted to have danger, and danger came one morning. Danger came several times, but this was the one that just really kind of got me. So it goes like this. It's called So Along, and don't ask me why. That's just what wanted to be sung as a chorus. You know, who knows? Way down where I was born and raised, where I spent my younger days, there were roads to travel by and take us to the long goodbye. Oh, I left home when I was 17, lost and lonely, seldom seen, and I stuck out my thumb and I headed east, searching for the great release. And so long, come and go along, so along, come and go. Oh, I stumbled into a dirty town, penniless and broken down, and I slept on rooftops, scavenged meals, and dodged the dirty driving wheels. And I met some fine and friendly folk, and some who'd kill you for a joke. And I put myself out there to find how would my tangled self unwind. And so along, come and go along, so along, come and go. One morning early, hot and dry, some switchblade strangers passing by directly pointed in my face, freezing all the world in place. And that was when I made my sense, and I carried it with me ever since, that I would not be turned around by this or any other town. And so along, come and go along, so along, come and go. And so, my friend, now you know, no defeat nor mortal blow, just follow where the road will lead to another dream to feed, and pick your battles well and good. Remember well where it was you stood. You have your stories, I have mine, and that's the way the world unwinds. And so along, come and go along, That was good, I think. Damn right, I think that was good. Can I swear on the? Do you folks at home mind? Damn right, that was good. Okay. This is a song that I don't know what to say. I guess I'll just sing it. Climate change, climate catastrophe, existential existence, that kind of thing. I mean, I grew up, with learning to hide under the desk in case, the Russians set off an atomic bomb, not realizing at the time that we had like 30 or 40 times more weapons than they could ever hope to have. But nonetheless, they were the official enemy, so we hid under the desk. But that's a man-made thing. Those are a bunch of tools that sit in a shed somewhere, silos. I'm not saying climate change is not man-made, don't get me wrong. But I'm saying it's bigger than any human machine. So this song was written for a whole bunch of reasons, and one of the reasons was because I kept looking at young people and it would scare me. Because I thought if I was 9 years old, 12 years old, 11 years old, I don't know, man, having to think about what I'm going to grow up into, I don't know. So, this is called Down to Zero, and it goes like this. Oh, there are no words enough to say how a world like this could die away, how reason falls on deaf ears, truth dissolves and disappears, and the clocks are counting down to zero. They warned us years ago. People laughed it off, said, what do they know? And we went our separate ways to find a future facing the end of the line, and the clocks are counting down to zero. Now the weather stumbles, forests burn, past the point of no return. Corporation money thrives, while the refugees look for a place to survive, and the clocks are counting down to zero. History walks the plank. Its eyes are flat, its face is blank. The melting ice, the rising sea. A redder sun than used to be, and the clocks are counting down to zero. I know people who live in trees and who chain themselves to machineries, who face the judge's scornful glare. There is no shelter anywhere, and the clocks are counting down to zero. The thunderclap, the black snake. In times like these, you do whatever it takes, wherever a line is drawn, for the people and the land that they live on. And the clocks are counting down to zero. I fear for children I see, and I don't blame them when they look at me, as if to say, how could you? We were depending on you, and the clocks are counting down to zero. And I woke up in a sweat last night, So all alone I couldn't face my freight, but I took a look around to see millions more just like me, and the clocks are counting down to 0. Goes from hand to hand. Resistance goes from hand to hand. For the air, the water, the people, the land. Tomorrow is born from the seeds of today, and we are going that way. And the clocks are counting down to 0. Thank you, Hans. Thank you. There are things to come and things to pass, pure and simple made of glass. To feed the future you eat through the past, to fix it fast. Make it last, and the time is now. Now is the time. The time is now. Now is the time. Time has come and time has gone to pick up roots, to move along. Rise up early before the dawn, to start out standing, to come on strong. And the time is now. Now is the time. The time is now. Now is the time. You got eyes to see, you got ears, and you know very well what's been happening here. Don't make light of the people's tears. Stand up and face your fears. The time is now. Now is the time. The time is now. Now is the time. There was a time when the winter came and all the world turned cold. Will be a time when the spring arrives and all the flowers unfold, and the future belongs. Oh, the future belongs to the bold. Don't let it scare you, the noise and the dare. So many millions arise everywhere. Polish the glass, hold it up to the air. Look in the reflection, you'll see yourself there. And the time is now. Now is the time. Now we stand with the wind at our backs, and we are the eye of the storm. We look at the world and the world looks back, and the drum beats a rhythm to warn that the future is just, oh, the future is just being born. The fuses were lit such a long ways away, and they'd stutter and spark and fade and decay. And now the clocks are on fire at the edge of the day, and we turn to each other and say, the time is now. Now is the time. The time is now. Now is the time. Now is the time. Yes, the time is now. Now is the time. Now is the time. Now is the time. That was better than the rehearsal. I want to thank you for having me here, JR. You know you didn't have to do that. And I do like playing in the Royal Room. And you can't tell they're at home, but there's at least 600 people in here tonight.
At least.
And they've been told to keep it quiet, and the cameras are not pointing at them. So no, there's just us. There's Brad on the gear there. There's Katie over there. There's I can't remember everybody's name. I'm sorry, I met
There's
you
Aaron
once.
McBride Stone. There's Shelley Haverkamp.
Aaron and Shelley, right?
So it's like 7 of us, yeah. Holding down the bar.
Okay, so we're 5 minutes over, and we're going to go another 5 minutes over because that's about the length of this song. So thank you again for having me here, and thank you everybody on live stream, for concert live streams, and all that
Thank
stuff.
you,
This is
Jim.
called Everybody Has a Story. Told you didn't have anything to say, and you almost believed them, but you spoke out anyway. And when you were old enough to leave them, you went out on the drift, and you found out soon enough that the ties they bound you with were pretty flimsy stuff. And everybody has a story, you might not think you do. Find someone to tell it to, and it will come alive. You thought you were for sale, and like everybody else was, but you slipped right through their fingers like the wind does, looking for a way out beyond the standard maps. And finally when you found it, the world began to crack. And everybody has a story, you might not think you do. Find someone to tell it to, and it will come alive. You didn't think you had it in you. You thought you were alone, but out among the multitudes, your confidence has grown. And now your voice is like a beacon, calling to the ears of those who care to listen through their sorrow and their tears. And everybody has a story, you might not think you do. Find someone to tell it to, and it will come alive. Because someone holds the reins of the regimental horse, and someone leads the lucky ones out along the concourse. It's within your best interests to keep you weak and small. Your voice is their nemesis, and your story is their downfall. And everybody has a story you might not think you do. Find someone to tell it to, and it will come alive. Everybody has a story you might not think you do. Find someone to tell it to, and it will come alive. It'll come alive.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jim. Thank you, Hans. Yeah, have a great night. Sweet dreams, everybody.
Stay safe.
Stay safe. Be well.